gotta get this number. I'm at list 4. And today we're gonna be playing more Satisfactory. I want to get the coal power set up. I want to start setting up some steel development, and I'm also boiling some water in the background, so sorry if you hear that. I have been noticing that the normalizer on the editing software really didn't like this mic setup. It liked the other one better. So we'll see how that handles. But other than that, I hope that you enjoy. I'm at. This is the area I prepared for the coal factory because I wanted a bloody coal factory, and also the biofuel actually ran out at one point, so this is really something that I'm relying on getting started soon. I've set up a location to have a nice little water tower extrusion. I don't really have the ability to make a super powerful water tower, but I have one that probably have the ability to make one that will probably be sufficient for this particular task. I think I'm going to need 3 water extruders and then pumps that just go up and then pump the water to the point where it's above this, and then we just bring the water down into the factory, and it should be fine. What will be the complication is actually the thing that I'm hoping to deploy, and that is, of course, the compacted coal, which takes power to produce, because it needs to be crafted. Either way though, this should look nice. I do want to get some other stuff set up first though. Since I keep forgetting to say this inside the Phasmophobia videos. Flashing light warning. Wee-oo, flashing light warning. The streaming content that you're watching is probably going to have some flashing lights. Shouldn't be too bad. But if I'm playing a game in the future, I keep on forgetting to actively speaking say there's flashing lights in it. There's your warning. Your flashing light warning is this thing. And of course I also prepared a, that's the way up. I have to remind myself every so often. But yes, that is the way up. But I also prepared an extrusion off of the main line of preparedness, I guess you could refer to this as, the Skynet. Let's call it Skynet. Okay, but I prepared another line off of the main Skynet to, actively speaking, be further coal support, as you can see. Okay, so we got coal right there. And also, we have a pure iron node over there, so we can use that for steel production. It's not going to be an extensive steel production piece, but it'll be sufficient for now, I think. There's also more steel nodes out in the yonders. Yonder ways. Okay, but I do want to do some more research. I prepped up some things to research over there, but functionally, research should primarily be done over here, and I need to get some more reinforced plates anyway, because I ran out of those, and I kind of need them. I need it! No you don't. Yeah I do! Also, since I got coal and cyanide both reinforced, not cyanide, sulfur, both reinforced, I decided to, don't worry, it's make some black powder, automated black powder. Wow. I decided to make some automated black powder. That way though, before I get this all started, I do want to get the steel tier running, up and running. Running and up. That was not up. But let's start off by getting the steel stuff. I also set up a few things that I think I'll need in these two chests. But this should be... take all that. That should be the steel right there. Basic steel production. Boop. 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 So glad that I did that.
Milestone reached. Coal and iron can be combined in the foundry to start steel production.
That sounds
Project part
tasty.
number 2, the versatile framework, can only be created via automation, not at a crafting bench. Delivering these to the space elevator is essential if we are going to complete phase 2 of project assembly and save the day. Fix
I do
It
want to
and
save the day.
humanity is relying on you.
Need cables. Where are my cables? Where are my cables? And for those of whom like, oh, what about the reinforced plates in that chest? Well, the reinforced plates are not in that chest because I've used them all. Okay, I'm going to need a few cables anyway. I'm going to do some criterium research. Start research. I heard that one's good.
Zipline unlocked. When equipped, the zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fix-It recommends not using ziplines during thunderstorms and typhoons, or while drinking coffee.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Stun rebar ammo unlocked. This applies a moderate electric charge to the target, capable of stunning small creatures and moderately delaying larger ones.
That's good.
This is quite atomically exciting.
Ah,
That was a
fun.
physics joke.
I do love good physics joke. Ooh.
New Caterium research options available. Congratulations on finding this metal. Many Fix-It initiatives will benefit from Caterium's applicability in advanced engineering.
Look good.
Also,
power switch.
it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
That does sound good to not feel. Smart splitter. I do want a smart splitter. Homing rifle refill. I don't want homing ammo. Priority power switch. Well, I do want this. This I can get, and that would actually enable that, which would be nice.
Power Pole Mark II unlocked. This provides additional power connections compared to the Power Pole Mark I.
Okay. That'd be nice. But unfortunately big. Oh yeah, and also I have a lot of copper plating over there because apparently copper plating is used for pipes, which I should have known, but I didn't remember, so that is what that's gonna be. Power pole Mach 2 right there. Mach 2. Either way, so what am I gonna need for my snake thing? About 3 rods. 3 rods. Wherever will I get 3 rods? Although I'm probably going to want a second one of those, which will take reinforced plates. One of them. And some copper wire. Both of which I have accessible. But I'm going to go ahead and craft this because I'm using a rebar gun more anyway. And let's think and equip it. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Find out how things work. Okay. So the general complication with the power line structure is that these actual poles will get in the way sometimes. So the best way to actually use these for transport is probably make your own pole based off of the design, which is what I'm planning on doing. But unfortunately, I have not unlocked blueprints yet. I feel like there's something else that I wanted to unlock. But I can do that later. First I need to get the sink up and running again, and that means getting full power up and running. But you can see that I very much considered these poles temporary because of that right there. You can't really zip line through that. It looks horrible that way. So let's get this up and running. And with that noted, I think we're gonna do a 2x speed thing here. So let's get that going. Oh yeah, and this is my TMP base, temporary base. So this is what I'm going to be using for power. I still have like half my generators running because that way I can keep getting resources. I forgot to get the reinforced plates, but really the primary goal right now is to kind of keep it thin. Not keep it thin. Kind of operate at a lower operating cost, so we're gonna probably listen to some music and do some 2x speed. That's my plan. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. Okay. Gotta do that real quick. Okay, so I just set it up so I can extract the fix-it audio because I felt like I wanted to. That's... Nah, I'm not gonna do that right now, but I'm about to do that. That way I can actively use it for the time-lapse, because they have nice music. I felt like that'd be pretty good. But near my base, I remember there being something. Freighter re-entry, that's nice. Near the steel factory, there is a waterfall. Now then, the thing about that waterfall is that it is very suspicious. I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick. I want to get that coal power up and running very soon. Underneath box. But you can see that's an iron ore node here. This is a nice little cave that I set up a little ramp into. And inside of this cave is an orange slug thingamabob, which is something. And that. I don't know what that is, but I want music. So. I was hoping that there'd be an Ada thingamabob. Okay, so you missed some things. In fact, I don't know what even was recorded, so I'm going to go ahead and check real quick. Okay, so I just actively speaking went to go pause my recording so that you didn't have to deal with me buying this and realized that I accidentally I didn't record the fix-it video of retrieving the fix-it thingamabob so that I can actually have background music while I'm doing 2x speed. And I didn't record the sound effect that went off when I actively installed the water pump, so I'm going to go ahead and play that again, because apparently I didn't do that correctly.
That may indeed be water. Try submerging your arm. If it does not dissolve, that will narrow down the range of possibilities. Or you could just pipe it to a coal-powered generator and see what happens.
Let's go ahead and add that to cart. And I want to add that to cart. That's probably actually good. Okay. Everything's in cart. $7. Not that much spare. I'm also going to add this and this. Oh. Mm. That costs 6. I don't have 6. We're going to unfortunately have to delete. Well,
If you sense your productivity slipping when it gets dark, don't worry, this is perfectly natural. Fortunately, fix-it lights allow you to never experience wasteful darkness ever again.
yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm gonna pause and hopefully this time remember to record the thing about also the tape that I unlocked with Battlestar Galactica music track, so that was something. See ya. I was broken. Couple mistakes were made there.
Fix-it pipelines can contain any fluid, including the water necessary for coal-powered generators. Note: water does not flow upwards by itself. While water extractors provide some lift, to truly defy gravity, consider the use of pipeline pumps. Interesting, most pioneers already had coal power set up by this point because they understood their responsibility to humanity. Adjusting pioneer attitude metrics. Reminder: coal-powered generators require coal.
Reminder: AI assistants are there to assist. 2 times speed, grab my ass and very good. 3 times speed, jump scare. Well, I was gonna let it fill for a few seconds and then actively speaking see how it went, but so far it seems to be secure. That means that I'm going to shut off the temporary stuff up here so that I can retrieve some of that biofuel. And that might be my full power solved. That right there might be my coal factory. Currently in a temporary state. I meant to make this a little bit more permanent, but I am running low on time, so I hope you can understand. I am going to see what our capacity's at. We are currently at a capacity of 780 megawatts. To be clear, we were working in megajoules before, if I recall correctly. So our current consumption is 1.52 megawatts. So basically, 2/7 of our capacity is taken up currently. Let's see what happens when we hook up the rest of our stuff. Let's just find connection and kill that. That should be producing power some more. We have got 600 megawatts of capacity. So without the biofuel generators boosting it, it's got a pretty decent supply. This thing's got power but no supplies. But currently what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to dismantle the fuel burners, because functionally I still need the fuel. Actually, it might make some sense just to shut off there and then use the capacity. But this thing burns through it so quickly. Let's put those back. And then we're going to kill all of the biofuel burning tingle partiness. Because now we got automatic power. Automatic power enables us to get a full heckin' done. And also now we don't have to constantly run out of biofuel of both varieties. So we can actually have a constant amount of both, which is very useful for things like making fabric, which is going to be very important later. Now these, I'm going to go ahead and dismantle some of this, because I don't want this accidentally burning anymore. Oh yes, I didn't reattach anything. So let's start stressing the line. We can only stress the line so much because we don't really have that much material to stress it with. But you got enough material to stress it a little bit. Ah. Okay, so we have max consumption that is spiking above and below our current consumption output. That's a bad sign. That might be because the turbo coal is running out over and over again. So what's actually happening is a constant state of losing power and then gaining that power back. Now that can be solved with a battery, which I can unlock at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Yep, power storage right there. If only I had made it just in time. I bet you if I just flip the switch, it'd probably be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and get that battery set up so that it doesn't have that spiky nature. And instead it should actually be able to output constantly. There's a few things that I probably should check real quick. Oh yeah, I found stators while I was out there. That's what because I found stators. I have stinking thingamabobs. I can real quick study that. If I remember how to actively speak and study crap.
Medical properties of local mycelia established. New
Yeah.
research options available. Medical inhaler variants.
It looks expensive. To be honest, I kind of want this, so I'm just gonna start this year done. Can't really do that one.
Research completed. AI limiter recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
Okay. AI limiter, assembler, crafting mesh. Okay, so I can put those. That actually is pretty good. This is something that I probably want soon, but I want this first so that I can unlock the summer sloop so that I can actively speak and get the duplication ability from the summer sloops, which I think I eventually will be able to do. Either way, let's get that steps going, which I forgot what it requires. We go to phase 4, extended power infrastructure. It takes things that we have, actually. We shouldn't have that stuff, but we do have it, so that just use it. Boop, 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 boop.
Milestone reached. After several pioneers
better.
started exhibiting traumatic responses to power blackouts, Fixit developed mitigation tools recommended by your local therapist.
Cool.
Power storages can hold excess power to delay or prevent blackouts in the eventuality that your factory's power consumption exceeds production. To simplify, these are rechargeable batteries. Power towers carry power lines for significantly greater distances than poles, facilitating factory expansion and exploitation of this environment for the good of Fixit and humanity.
And humanity. Humanity. Oh, the humanity. I need to store all this black powder. Oh, will I store such things? Although, admittedly, it might just make more sense to actually just not include 2 of the assemblers and just actually put in raw coal. But that makes sense, you see. I don't do that. Although admittedly, it actually doesn't seem to run out in the same way, as it just couldn't reach capacity at that specific point. Maybe this thing just needed an upgrade. You've gotta be kidding me. That's it. That's it. Should have done this already, but I keep on having this bloody issue, and I'm like, oh man, I don't have to do it for that long. It doesn't justify it. No. That justified it right there. That was a problem that should not have been. And it wouldn't have been if I wasn't procrastinating the issue. Because I did. I had a problem. Sitting down and complaining that you had a problem instead of solving the problem is how you keep having the problem. Remember this having an output, but maybe I'm wrong. Does this have like an off switch? This thing is charging. Okay, so if you liked what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe and blookin'. I'm just gonna let this thing run for a little bit, and I'll deal with steel next time, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to deal with steel for a while now. I thought it'd be quick. This is going a little bit slower than I expected, but at the opposing end of it, I didn't expect to need a power supply for this thing. Or more accurately, I didn't expect to need to have such complicated backs and forth with it. So I underestimated its requirements, I'll be the first to admit. By the way though, it is charging up very quickly. These things shut down because they don't have water. So water is my constraint currently. I need to put more water pressure into the system. Grandiose. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out there. But update, I got it working again. Apparently I just need to add a pipe down the middle. Okay, so that is coal power fully set up properly and actively. As you can see, they are constantly pumping out power. That one just shut off for some reason. I just need to let these things build up water pressure. Actually, no, this thing's got actual water pressure, so let's let that thing be on. Let's check the ones that don't have as much water pressure and just turn them off until they do. To my surprise, the actual assembler setup is actually keeping up and surpassing, but maybe that's because I'm not using the full setup currently. But hopefully, if we get set up, it will actually fill itself properly. Yeah, I hope so. What's the water source looking like? Nowhere near where I wanted it. That's great. We have 2 fully functioning coal generators. But this thing's actually almost full. I can probably turn that on. So it's been lowered down to 4 anyway, but functionally speaking, hopefully with this kind of setup, it's actually going to start building up water pressure again anyway. In fact, I don't really need all these going quite yet, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off stuff. And come back to this later. See you when I start steel up.